Welcome one and all back to Nier Replicant. I hope you had as much fun as I did last night watching my wife and I fail at It Takes Two. But we're going to pick up with Route B. And I hope you brought your reading glasses, because you're going to fucking need them today.
Whenever I interacted with Kaine, I was reminded about something from my past. Maybe my mind has been confusing her with my sister this whole time. Anyway...
Kaine's dreams, discrimination. The sound of rain filled the village. The steep cliffs that surrounded the area magnified the sound, causing even the slightest drizzle to rattle like a thunderstorm. Thin wisps of smoke steamed from huts as the villagers huddled in their homes and waited out the rain. A single child, however, had braved the downpour and was now wandering slowly toward the wooden heart-shaped weather vane at the center of town. The wanderer reached the vane, which had existed for as long as he could remember, and stared. The child's face was simultaneously delicate and fierce, like a teacup that had survived a shipwreck. Those traits combined with a pale white skin to give the face an almost sexless quality. If the beak turns east, I go home. If it stays west, then I... The child blinked. Rain slowly dripped down the young one's short hair and began its long descent to the ground. Come on! Come on! The child felt a slight breeze and watched as the vein slowly creaked to life. Spinning this way and that for a moment, it finally settled with the beak pointing firmly toward the east. East? Really? Before the vein could move again, a jagged rock came spinning and tumbling through the air, striking home against the child's head. The force of the blow dropped the child to the ground as a hail of stones began to fall all around. Oh no, they found me. A heartbreaking smile crept across the child's face as the stones continued their assault. Through the rain, the sound of multiple footsteps grew louder before a voice rang out. Yoo-hoo! Kaine! The voice belonged to Demo, worst of all the bullies in the area. As Kaine struggled to stand, a final stone came skittering through the mud and bounced against her foot. Blood oozed from a cut above her eye and blurred her vision, but she could make out the shapes of Demo and his usual gang of idiots. The boys seemed taken aback for a moment by Kaine's seemingly indifference to blood dripping from her face, but quickly regained his bravado. What's up, freak? You like the rain? You like getting all wet? Or did you finally decide to run away from home? Though she knew it was futile, Kaine turned to leave. Before she could get more than a few steps, the other children scrambled to surround her, cruelty burning in their eyes. One moment, folks. cruelty burning in their eyes. Kaine knew these were not the only eyes on her. The tormentor's parents watched from the safety of their homes. She was attuned to this sensation. It was one she had experienced many times before. While some villagers simply turned a blind eye to the actions of their children, many encouraged it openly. In a society ruled by superstition and fear, Kaine was something to be hated and, if possible, destroyed. "I didn't say you could leave, freak!" Demo's words chewed at her like a worm through an apple. "He can't hurt me," she lied to herself. "Be strong. Be brave. He can't hurt me. He can't hurt me. He can't hurt..." "Oh look! The little freak's gonna cry! What's wrong? Are you sad that everyone hates you and wants you dead?" Kaine prayed for the rain to flood down and carry her away from a world that seemed to have no place for her. But if there were gods, they chose to ignore her. As Demo crept ever closer, the clouds began to thin and the rain slowed. "Even the weather hates me. I'm useless. A failure. I wish Demo's rock had taken my head off." Kaine could not meet Demo's leering gaze. She lowered her eyes and stared at the muddy ground below. The bully moved forward until inches away. She could smell the scent of old meat on his breath. The boy grabbed Kaine's face with thick fingers and yanked it upward. She tried to turn away, but he forced her gaze back and jammed his thumb against her eyelid to pry it open. "Show me!" "No." "Did you just say no?" Demo grinned evilly. "You don't say no to me! No one says no to me!" Not even taking his attention from Kaine, he called to his cohorts, "Come on, guys! Let's give the freak what she deserves!" As soon as Demo finished, kicks and blows began to rain down upon Kaine. Demo paused, still grinning as Kaine curled into a ball and tried to make the pain stop. "I don't get you, freak. What's you acting like a girl for, huh? Everyone knows what you really are." Kaine ignored the question, choosing instead to stare at the weather vane. It continued to point east, as if supremely confident about the future it had chosen for her. Go home. That's a funny joke for someone with dead parents and no home to go to. "Freak!" chanted the children. "Freak! Freak! Freak!" Kaine closed her eyes and listened to the rain, waiting for the pain to start again. As the clutching hands of the village children closed around her, she bent her mind to the sound of the rain, letting it become her entire world. The rain fell, but the pain never came. Only when the laughter of her tormentors turned to terrified cries did she dare open a single blood-caked eye. Kaine was shocked to see Demo sprawl on the ground, holding his head and screaming in pain. She could see blood welling from spaces between his fat, twisted fingers. "Oh my God! He's crying! He's actually crying!" Deprived of their leader, the other children glanced back and forth between themselves, as if waiting for someone to step forward to take charge. When no savior emerged, they began an uneasy shuffle away from Kaine. But the young girl was the least of their concerns. Instead, their attention was wrapped on the ancient woman standing a few feet away. After struggling for breath for a moment, she finally spoke in a voice thick with rage. "Hurts like a bitch, don't it? Now I suggest you scatter before I throw another one. And if any of you ever will If any of you little bastards ever touch my Kaine again, I'll do far worse than throw a rock. You can count on it. The old woman crouched down and gently touched the hand Demo was using to cover the wound. Before he could think to protest, she ground her palm into the wound and twisted back and forth. Ow! He screamed, leaping to his feet. Stop it! What are you doing? Quit whining! Ain't no one ever died from a scratch. You hit me with a rock, you stupid bitch! A big one! That thing could have killed me! The old woman shrugged. Death is the best cure for stupid. I'm a woman, my old lady! Nemo's face twisted with rage at her words. Locking his eyes on Kaine, he took a step backward and spat on the ground. Get out! Leave this village! No one wants you here! Either of you! Seeing the old woman grab another stone, Demo and his companions turned tail and ran. As they fled, the old woman grabbed her side and barked out a single laugh. Ha! Look at the fat boy go! Guess he's healthy enough to run from a fight! The woman's smile faded as she turned her attention to Kaine. Kneeling down, she removed her shawl and placed it around the young girl's shoulder. Then produced a cloth from the folds of her dress and began blotting at the blood on her forehead. Oh, Kaine, she said, why didn't you fight back? You're stronger than that lot. The words of her grandmother stung Kaine and she turned away. Don't be nice to me, she said. I don't deserve it. Nothing matters anymore. Her tears held in check for so long finally began to fall on the muddy ground below. Everyone hates me. They think I cause bad things to happen. They think I'm a freak. I wish I was dead. As Kaine's tears turned to sobs, she felt her grandmother's hand on her shoulder. Despite her advanced age and diminutive size, she was a woman of surprising strength, and Kaine found herself unable to turn away. Don't talk like that, girl. It's a river wide and deep that flows between the realms of this world and the next, and it grants no mercy to any that attempt that crossing. You got a duty to fight until your last breath. Understand? The old woman tightened her grip and tried to still the tremor in her voice. You know the pain of losing someone close to you, Kaine. You know because you survived it. As the words hit home, Kaine was struck by the force of her love for the old woman. As a young child, she didn't even know of her grandmother, but when her parents died, the woman quickly accepted her as her own. Grandma, as Kaine called her, was cunning, vulgar, and quick to violence, and their first few years together had not been easy. But with each year that passed, Kaine and her grandmother had grown closer. However, it was only now, sitting in the mud, with tears and blood caking her face, that Kaine truly understood the depths of her affection. Here was a woman who had seen hard times, who had seen death, who had fought through all of these things and somehow managed to emerge on the other side. If anyone could understand Kaine's pain and loneliness, it was her. Do I make you sick, Grandma? Course not! Don't be an ass! Kaine drew her grandmother's mouth-eaten shawl around her body and shuddered. But my body, it's not normal. If I was normal, then Mom and Dad wouldn't. Hush! Interrupted Grandma. I'll not hear another word of this nonsense. You're my granddaughter and I love you. And if folks have a problem with that, they can just go to hell. With that, the old woman reached out and placed a wreath of dried flowers in Kaine's hair. The skill it took to bend the flowers without breaking the stems or losing a single petal was remarkable, and the beauty of it made Kaine want to cry all over again. Oh my gosh! These are lunar tears! Grandma, you made this for me? Lunar tears were legendary flowers. Most people could live their entire lives without ever seeing one. And yet her grandmother had somehow collected a dozen or more. Ugh. Oh. Sorry, I had to grab something. Kaine reached up and touched the wreath, as if she couldn't believe it was real. I mean, you find a legendary thing and you kinda gotta question it, you know? Okay, there we go, that's properly charging now. Where did you find these? Just stumbled on them while I was out doing the shopping. The old woman turned away as she spoke, leading Kaine to suspect the search had been more difficult than she was letting on. The pains she took to construct the ornament, let alone track down the flowers used in its construction, made Kaine's head hurt. She reached up and gently adjusted the wreath, admiring the way it felt between her fingers. Didn't quite turn out right, said her grandmother as she squinted at it. These old hands have trouble with delicate work. But it sure looks good on a pretty girl like you. Kaine blushed and turned away. You think I'm pretty? Of course you are! What a fool thing to say. Thank you, Grandma. Her grandmother smiled. We're gonna be fine, you and me, she said. Long as we got each other, we'll be just fine. Kaine took her grandmother's hand in hers, and the two of them struggled to their feet. As they began the long walk home, Kaine gripped the hand with all her might, as if trying to stop smoke from drifting away from the wind. The rain had stopped. Kaine stood beneath the weather vane, watching it spin in lazy circles, no longer caring about the direction it faced when it stopped. I don't need to escape. I have a home now. Grandma loves me, and that's enough. Even if it's us against the world. Kaine let her gaze drift up past the vane and into the cloudy sky. The last faint hints of the rainbow were slowly fading. As she turned and headed for home, the light scattered into a million particles and vanished, seemingly taken away by the breeze. However, was far from the work of art, as she could see pieces of every shape and size were being flung about by a barren yard with wild abandon. Anyone trying to stack such wood would probably die of frustration before the job was through. Stupid piece of shit axe! Kaine's grandmother flailed away with the axe, filling the air with both splinters of wood and words that would make the most hardened sailor blush. Grandma! Called Kaine. That you, Kaine? Yelled the old woman, taking her eyes off the wood for a moment. Don't get too close, or I might take your goddamn foot off by mistake! She brought the axe down on a piece of wood, sending chips flying in every direction. One spun past Kaine, close enough for her to hear the whistle, at which point she decided to step back. Once she scuttled to a safe distance, she cupped her hands around her mouth and shouted, Grandma, do you need help? I can get you water, or lunch, or a new axe or something. The axe, poised to strike another wobbly blow, paused in midair. The old woman considered her granddaughter's offer for a moment and then smiled. Tell you what, since I'm doing such a piss-poor job of chopping, why don't you come here and take over so I can go get the water? Shades have been restless lately and I don't want you running into one of them bastards. Relinquishing the axe, Her grandmother picked up a long pole with wooden buckets on either end. Gathering water was by far the more difficult of the two jobs, but Kaine knew better than to complain. Once Grandma's mind was set, there was no changing it. Kaine did her best to help with the chores, but Grandma took every task that required travel to the village. Though she had a long list of plausible excuses, Kaine knew the real reason. She didn't want her granddaughter to be taunted and harassed by the villagers. Once Kaine moved in, Grandma decided to take up residence a good distance from the area. Out of sight, out of mind seemed to be the best policy when it came to the villagers and her granddaughter. And rare were the days when any but the two of them could be found on the rocky acre of land they called home. Kaine enjoyed the solitude, but harbored a secret resentment that her grandmother was forced to spend her golden years in such a place. After watching her grandmother leave, Kaine turned her attention to the task at hand. She had never chopped wood before in her life, and soon discovered why the old woman hated the chore. Swing after swing of the axe produced only a tiny crack in the wood, and when she finally managed to connect with a solid stroke, the tool embedded itself in the log and refused to budge. Frustrated, Kaine swung the axe around her head and threw it, log and all, across the yard. Damn it! Ah! Crap! She suddenly understood the joy her grandmother felt in a good curse. Happier now, she picked up the axe and forced it into the wood and resumed chopping. Ugh. She had a natural skill with a blade, but the task was challenging, and blisters soon began to form on her small pink hands. This is tough, and my logs are all weird sizes. Spitting on her palms and ignoring the pain, Kaine redoubled her efforts. Just as she was developing a rhythm, Kaine returned from the village. Setting down her buckets with a small sigh, she took one look at the logs and coughed out a wheezy laugh. Pretty clumsy, girl. You better practice if you... Her grandmother suddenly collapsed to her knees, causing one of the buckets to wobble precariously. Eyes wide, Kaine dropped the axe and ran to her grandmother's side. Grandma! The old woman shook her head and pointed with a trembling finger at the bucket. Get the bucket. Can't let it spill. Kaine steadied the bucket with a foot as she knelt by her grandmother. A small bit of water sloshed over the side and made a new home in the hem of her dress. But Kaine didn't notice. Grandma! Grandma, what's happening? Crazed with panic, she grabbed her grandmother by the shoulders and shook. After the moment, the woman lifted her arms and batted Kaine away. Stop that! Just stop, she cried, breathing heavily. I know this kind of pain. It ain't like I'm dying. Just tired from the trip is all. By God, I know that lie. Bitch, you lied. Kaine desperately wanted to believe her, but one look at the woman's shaking hands and worn face told more than... Now, I feel partially attacked by that line, even though I'm not an old woman. I am a young man, very firm in my young manness. When I see me, and that's a dick move. Don't look at our bodies to tell us when we're dying. Her grandmother had lived a long, hard life, and it seemed the bill was finally coming due. The time when her grandmother watched over Kaine was ending. Sooner than either of them had feared, the positions would be reversed. The next morning, Kaine came to the side of her grandmother's bed and took her wrinkled hand. Grandma, you're sick and you need medicine. I'm going to the village. The old woman shook her head and tried to rise, but Kaine gently pushed her down. It's all right, she said. I'll be fine. Her grandmother fixed her with a gaze that could melt steel. After what seemed an eternity, she finally lowered her eyes and sighed. Well, I don't like it, goddammit, but I guess could quit being so stubborn and let you grow up. The old woman watched as Kaine strapped on her boots and made her way down the road to the village. Hours later, as an unseen sun made its way across the dark and rainy sky, she was still watching. Kaine moved at a brisk pace, checking her pockets every few minutes to make sure the money her grandmother gave her was still there. Every noise caused her to spin on her heels, making sure she wasn't being stalked by a shade, or worse, Demo and his gang. But she encountered neither tormentors nor shades, and finally found herself at the entrance to the village. The few adults she could see glanced sideways at her, and then muttered at each other behind raised hands before slinking away into the shadows. Her heart racing, Kaine took a series of rapid, shallow breaths and tried to calm herself. I have to prove myself. I have to help Grandma. I have to be strong. She chanted those words to herself over and over and over as she slowly made her way. Finally, her eyes settled on the rotund older woman who was angrily waving her arms in the air, telling anyone who would listen exactly what she thought of Kaine's presence. Hey, lady, said Kaine with a bravado she did not feel. Where's the apothecary? The woman's flabby cheeks shook in bewildered anger. How dared this thing speak to me, they seemed to say, but Kaine saw that her eyes held a different emotion. Fear. Yeah, we're both scared, lady. Trust me on this one. Which way? Kaine repeated. The woman pointed at a small building to her right before hitching up her dress and stumbling off in the other direction. Kaine cringed, expecting a stone to come flying from the assembled crowd, but none came. Her mind was filled with a strange sense of pride as she made her way to the apothecary, but the new emotion had little time to take root, for as soon as she opened the door, she noticed a familiar customer at the counter. It was Demo. He had been clearly sent here on some kind of family errand, because his gang of followers was nowhere near to be found. Oh my, he sputtered. What are you doing here, freak? The insult was delivered without force, and Kaine happily ignored it. Stretching on tiptoes to see over the counter, she asked the shopkeeper for the medication. Ha! Barked Demo. The old bitch finally keel over? Go to hell, Demo. The boy's eyes grew so wide they seemed ready to fall out of his head. But before he could let fly a comeback, or worse, a punch, the apothecary told them to knock it off before he kicked them out of the store. Demo slunk out of the shop, cursing Kaine under his breath. Once he was gone, she allowed herself to breathe once more, taking a brief tour of the shop while the owner prepared her medication. So much goddamn reading. Naruhodo. Countless tiny bottles filled the cramped store, each with a label written in some indecipherable language. An ocean of aromas assaulted her nose, creating a scent that was exotic, but not altogether unpleasant. Seeing such a variety of supplies gave Kaine a sense of peace. Surely in a world so vast, there would be a place she could call home. On the far wall behind the counter rested a portrait of a stunning young girl. The picture had once contained bright, vibrant colors, but time had worked its cruel magic, and they were beginning to fade. The beauty of the work, however, remained undiminished. You like that picture? Kaine turned to find the apothecary with a small vial of medicine in his hand. His eyes were gentle but sad, and they seemed to stare through her and into nothing as he spoke. That's my daughter. I sketched it when she was just a little girl. She's been dead a long time now. Kaine didn't know how to respond, as she just stared at the portrait and tried to come up with the right words. Pictures are wonderful things, continued the shopkeeper. They let the ones closest to you live on forever. He shook his head slightly, then looked down at Kaine and smiled. Handing her the medicine, he reached into his sizable green apron and produced a handful of old wax crayons. You should have these. There's no one left I wish to draw. Kaine took an instinctive step back, causing the shopkeeper's face to darken. Yes, I've heard the rumors about you, he said. It's a small village and word travels quickly. Between you and me, I'm not sure which of them to believe, but I also don't think they matter much. I know your grandmother, Kali, and I think the way she was driven out of this town is just deplorable. Grandma's name is Kali? Thought Kaine suddenly. She was still mulling this new fact over in her mind as she reached out gently and took the crayons from the apothecary's hand. Your grandmother's an old friend of mine, he said, as Kaine scooted away yet again, and I owe her much. I wager she would like it if you drew a picture of her. Yes, I think she would like that very much. Kaine murmured in quiet agreement, but inside her heart was bursting. Never before had a villager had treated her with anything but complete contempt. It was a tiny, almost imperceptible step, but it was a step nonetheless. And with enough tiny steps, she might one day discover the rest of the world! When Kaine returned home, she had found her grandmother asleep in her bed. Her feet were blackened and raw, even bleeding in a bit of places. Leading Kaine to think that she had been pacing around the room until exhaustion finally caught up with her. She placed the medicine by her grandmother's pillow and turned to leave, but she found the old woman's hand clasped around her arm. Back already, are you? Asked her grandma with a yawn. Come here, let me have a look at you. Grandma sat up and examined Kaine from head to toe. Finally satisfied that nothing terrible had befallen her grandchild, she leaned back and allowed herself to relax. Well, how was it? Those bastards gave you any trouble? It was kind of fun, said Kaine with a small smile. No, seriously, it was. Fun, eh? Asked her grandmother in a voice which implied she believed anything but. Uh-huh. So anytime you need me to run an errand, just let me know. As she spoke, Kaine removed the crayons from her pocket. After a brief explanation of their source, she informed her grandmother that she was going to sketch her portrait. A portrait of me? Ridiculous. No one wants to stare at a wrinkled old crone. But Grandma, it'll make you live forever. Horse shit, said her grandmother, throwing back the sheet from her bed. Living forever would just piss me off. Now put those crayons away and help with dinner. But Kaine would not relent, and in the end, Grandma found herself leaning against the wall of their house, as if posing for a master artiste. Kaine took up the crayons, eyed her subject carefully, and set to work. Just as her grandma was about to nod off, Kaine finished the piece. After staring at it for a bit, she released it from her grip and let it slowly drift to the floor. It's terrible. It doesn't look like you at all. I'm sorry, Grandma. I thought these crayons would, make drawing easy or something. The old woman's eyes narrowed at her granddaughter's disappointment. Let me be the judge of that, she said, ignoring the pain in her back and reaching for the paper. The sketch could have been a person's face. It could have also been a boulder, a lump of clay, or an incredibly misshapen loaf of bread, all rendered in a chaotic array of colors. The old woman stared at the picture for a long time, then slowly wheezed out a laugh. Oh, Kaine, she said between laughter. You truly are my blood. You are as clumsy as me and I love it. But, hush! I won't hear any more bull about how ugly you think it is. It came from the heart, and I'll treasure it always. True to her word, the old woman gave the picture a place of honor above the kitchen table. In the days that follow, Kaine would often catch her staring at the portrait with a strange smile on her face, an action she interpreted as silent, mocking laughter. Kaine could stand it no more and asked her grandmother to take the artwork down. Hush, said the old woman. I'll take this down when they roll me in my shroud. She pondered this for a bit and then turned to Kaine and dropped to one knee. Listen to me, girl. Seeing this picture makes me happy in a way I've never felt before. And it makes me want to go on, so that someday you can feel the same happiness. It was a moment that burned itself in Kaine's memory. A perfect blend of pride and love and joy that came together to form a lifelong remembrance. She swore to never forget this moment, to never forget the old woman who had made her place in the world possible. Time moves on, people and memories move in and out of life like a ghost passing through a hall. But this moment will be different, Kaine swore, because I will remember it forever. Forever. Separation. Oh dear. Kaine listened to the sound of crackling firewood and stared at the black object on her plate. Can you give me just 1 second? I have to make a quick phone call. What's wrong? What's wrong with her? Put Charlie in the box and see if that helps. First, see if that gets her to relax any. I know, this is probably going to be a vet visit that I can't afford. Hence why I said, put Charlie in the box, put Dash in the box, see if that doesn't. See if that helps her loosen up a bit. Alright. If you can get me a picture of it so I can see, I would highly appreciate it. Because I've kind of locked in for the night. Alright. Later. Bye. Okay. Sorry, I had to take a phone call. Very important phone call. Kaine listened to the sound of crackling firewood and stared at the black object on her plate. She had been pushing around the wooden disc for a good 10 minutes, ignoring the bemused stare of her grandmother. Finally, she summoned her courage and gave the object a brief sniff. A sharp, bitter scent flew up her nostril and made its home there, causing her face to twist with disgust. "Grandma, I can't believe you want me to eat a bug." The old woman threw some more wood under the cooking pot and snorted. "It's no bug, you fool. Girl, it's a berry. Why the hell would I be feeding you bugs?" "Yeah, well, it sure looks like a bug," said Kaine. "And I think it's burnt or something, because it smells terrible." With that, Kaine held her nose and threw the berry in her mouth, chewing as little as possible. "Oh yeah, that's terrible, all right." "Why, you little brat," laughed the old woman. "Look at this ass on you. You've been spending too much time with me, and that's a fact." 5 years had passed since the moment when Kaine's grandmother saved her from the bullies. As is often the way with two stubborn people, their relationship had grown in fits and starts, but moved forward all the same. Meals that used to be somber affairs were now filled with laughter and hurled abuse in equal measure. Kaine could not remember a time when she had been happier. As the years went by, Kaine started to shoulder more and more of the daily responsibilities. Her grandmother's legs grew weaker by the day, and she could no longer do many of the chores she used to take for granted. And so this morning Kaine found Kaine lacing up her work boots with a breakfast of burned berries rolling through her belly. "Where are you going today?" asked Grandma suddenly. Kaine looked up surprised. The old woman rarely asked for specifics anymore. "Well, I was going to check out the kelma trees and see if they were ripe. I thought we could make some jam or something. Oh, and I'm going to pick up some flagstones, so I need to take the wheelbarrow." "Flagstones? What the hell for?" Kaine stared at her grandmother, then held out an arm and swept it around their home. Constructed mostly of cloth and rope and rubble, the old place sagged like a boxer in the final round. "Grandma, a dying cat could shrew through this house. I'm going to build a stone wall so we have some protection." The old woman laughed, exposing her toothless grin to the world. "Goddamn, girl, if a bunch of thieves want to ransack this old place, let them come. We got nothing worth stealing." "I'm not worried about thieves. I'm worried about shades." "People saw one west of the village yesterday." The old woman tilted her head and stared at her grandmother. "Well, shoot. I don't know why you have to do it today. We can worry about it some other..." "Grandma, no. If I don't go to the kelma trees, we won't eat tonight. You know that." Confused expression passed across the old woman's face, and for a moment she was a small child lost at a carnival. "Yes," she said after a bit. "Yes, of course, you're right. I'm sorry, Kaine. It seems my mind is..." She didn't finish the thought, though. Instead, walking over to her nightstand, gently taking the wreath of lunar tears from the drawer. The flower's petals had aged to a brilliant whiteness, and Kaine thought it was more beautiful now than the day she first received it. "You're going to be a true woman soon," Grandma said as she placed the flowers in the girl's hair. "So that means less chatter about shades and building defensive walls, and more talk about how beautiful you've become." Annoyed, Kaine reached to remove the garland, but the look on her grandmother's face stopped her hand. "You're a beautiful thing," said the old woman, "and there ain't another like you in all the world. I'm very proud of you." "Okay, Grandma, that's enough goddamn compliments for one day." "Such a mouth on you. Where did that come from?" "Gee, I wonder." "I'll teach you to sass me, girl," yelled Grandma. Suddenly, she lurched forward and grabbed Kaine by the ears, pulling her around the room with a crazed grin on her face. "Grandma!" yelled Kaine in a quacking voice. "Grandma, stop it! What the hell?" The old woman stared at her and blinked, then slowly held her wrinkled hands out as if it was the first time she'd ever seen them. I don't know what happened there. I'm sorry, girl. Sometimes my mind just... Kaine thought the look on her grandmother's face was the most heartbreaking thing she'd ever seen. Listen, she began, maybe I should stay home after all. No, I won't have you stay here to keep an eye on an old codger like me. You go get your fruit and your wall and whatnot. I'll be fine. And when you come back, I'll have a nice grasshopper dinner waiting for you. Kaine rolled her eyes and then kissed her grandmother on the forehead and made ready to depart, trying desperately to ignore the worry that was gnawing at the walls of her heart. Kaine could feel the old woman's eyes watching her as she moved down the path. Don't turn around. Don't turn around, she told herself. But in the end, the temptation was too great. She spun on her heel for one final look and saw a small, bent woman standing in front of a ramshackle hut with a sad expression on her face. God, she looked so old now. It's like the winds could reach down and just carry her away. Kaine worried about her grandmother all day, causing her work to suffer. What little fruit she could collect was tossed carelessly into the wheelbarrow, and she only found a couple of stones before losing interest in the project. Finally, as dusk approached, she decided to call it a day. Cursing herself for the lack of focus, Kaine pushed the nearly empty wheelbarrow back down the path. As she crested the final hill, she suddenly froze in place. The wheelbarrow fell from her fingers and collapsed to its side, sending a few pieces of wrinkled brown fruit rolling back down the hill. Her gaze was transfixed by a thick black cloud that hovered just overhead. Where the fuck did I put it? Oh, it's under my ass. Tracing its path with a finger, Kaine suddenly felt her stomach knot in on itself. No! Oh gods, no! Her grandmother's house was ablaze, the flames licking it up as if trying to touch the sky itself. Grandma! Grandma! Kaine ran in faster than she'd ever moved in her life. Once she tripped on a stone and went spalling into the rocky ground, but she leapt to her feet and continued running, unmindful of the blood that spilled from her wounded hands and knees. As she got closer and closer, Kaine's mind began to race in time with her footfalls. It's too dark, not just fire. Can't be fire, too much smoke. Gotta save her. She burst into the front yard and came to a sudden halt. Her worst suspicion confirmed. The smoke from the fire was mingling with a thick, inky blackness of an enormous shade. The massive creature supported itself on 3 twisted feet and achieved balance through means of a large armored tail. Scales, horns, and claws sprouted from its body in a random chaotic pattern, giving it the appearance of a lizard designed by some inane god. Seeing Kaine, it let out a roar and flicked its tail, sending small whirlwinds spinning around the yard. For a moment, the creature retreated into a shimmering, inky blackness, as if her mind was unable to comprehend that such a thing could actually exist. But then the smell hit her, a blend of rotted meat and excrement, and the horror became real once more. The creature bellowed again, and this time Kaine responded with a scream of her own. "All right, you bastard!" she thought as her scream echoed off the high cliffs around them. "It's you or me! Let's go!" The shade-eyed Kaine with bemused interest then began looking from her to the house and back again, as if urging her to look at the destruction it had so gleefully wrought. With dread building in her heart, Kaine glanced toward the house. Through the smoke and flame, she spotted a small figure struggling to escape the ruins. "Grandma!" At the sound of her voice, the old woman began waving and frantically. "She's alive!" Kaine thought. "Alive!" Kaine's legs sprang to life as she raced across the yard toward the flaming wreckage of the house. Before she could advance more than a few steps, the shade opened its mouth and let out a roar powerful enough to uproot trees and send them flying. The blast sent Kaine tumbling through the air before smashing her against rocky earth. Stars danced in front of her eyes as she tried to remember how her legs worked. Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up now! As Kaine struggled to her feet, the shade stomped forward toward the house, pinning her grandmother to the ground with the tip of a claw. The old woman struggled to move the claw from her stomach, but she might as well have been pushing a mountain. She coughed briefly, sending a small spray of blood into the air, then collapsed to the ground, her energy spent. Kaine lurched her feet, only to fall back to the earth with a gasp. Her ankles were on fire. One or both of them were surely broken. Ignoring the pain that screamed through her body, she began dragging herself across the ground, leaving a drunken trail of dust and blood in her wake. Grandma, hold on! Just a little longer! Her grandmother's face was turning blue, her eyes rolling back until only the whites were exposed. Kaine pulled herself across the ground with maddening slowness, the distance seeming to increase with every second that passed. The shade glanced between the two women and flicked out its tongue, its giant mouth turning up at the corners. Short, panting breaths bleached from somewhere deep inside its core. Bastard! Laughing at me! Laughing at us! She had no idea how such a mindless creature could experience emotion, but there could be no doubt the shade was taking joy in their suffering. Yeah, I see your plan. The shade moved its claw slightly, allowing Grandma to breathe again. It was clearly keeping her alive, only to snuff out her life. Then Kaine was close enough to touch her. I'm going to kill this bastard! Summoning all her strength, Kaine rose to her feet. There was a sickening snap from her right ankle as the foot twisted backward. She forced it from her mind and began to hobble toward the monster. Pulling a small knife from the pouch at her waist, she leapt on the foot that pinned her grandmother and plunged the weapon deep. Give her back! She screamed. Give her back to me! It was like stabbing a rock. After a few swipes, the knife broke at the hilt with a dull snap. The shade panted laughter again, then raised its tail and sent it rushing through the air toward the young girl that was lashed to its foot. Kaine never had a chance. The tail struck her square in the chest and sent her crashing into the burning wreckage of the home. As she lay on the ground, with blood pouring from multiple wounds, a small, weak voice spoke up. Kaine. Kaine's vision blurred, but she forced herself to focus on the sound. Finally, her eyes cleared enough for to make out her grandmother's hands reaching out to her through the smoke. Grandma, Kaine, you gotta run. You can't best this one. Kaine gripped the hands and held on with all of her strength. Grandma, come on. We have to go. The old woman coughed loudly. One of her hands, slick with blood, slipped from Kaine's grasp and thumped to the ground below. Grandpa! No! No! I said run, goddammit! You have to live! You have to get through! The thought would stay forever unfinished before she could say another word. The shade's clawed foot descended, smashing through the remains of the roof, and down upon the shattered figure of the old woman. My God, this is a lot of reading. Blood oozed from the gaps in the creature's toes as the terrible putrid smell assaulted Kaine's nose once again. She stared at the foot, dumbfounded, convinced that what she was seeing could not possibly be real. When the creature finally lifted its appendage, all that remained underneath was a twisted, unrecognizable mass of rubble and red. Her grandmother was gone. Kaine blinked, trying to feel the hands which had been in hers just a moment before. For a fleeting instant, she could remember the warmth of that embrace, the trembling of the fingers, but then the sensation drifted away on a breeze and was gone. Memories flashed through Kaine's mind, one after the other, faster and faster until they became a meaningless jangle of noise. Kaine screamed, and a thunderous sound that echoed off the cliffs and seemed to roll away forever. The shade eased forward, black ichor pouring from its mouth and dissolving into smoke on the ground below. The earth shook with every step as it crept towards its prey. Kaine's body slowly rose, as if controlled by a mad puppeteer. Her arms and legs were bent at impossible angles. Her head lolled dangerously to the side, yet somehow she managed to stand. Staring at the shade, her eyes began to glow with a deep red fire. The creature, so confident just a moment before, took a slow, hesitant step backward, trying to discern if this broken human could possibly pose a threat. Kaine seized the moment, laughing like a mad woman. She leapt into the air and plunged the shattered hilt of the knife deep into the leg of the shade. Would you like to listen to me read Nier? Streaming the story of Kaine. The shade took Kaine off like a fly, sending her crashing to the earth once again, oozed from her ears. Is that blood? I think it is. I think I'm bleeding to death. No, can't die. Grandma told me to live. Deep inside Kaine's mind, something finally broke. The sound, the pain, the smoke and flames, all of it faded away until all that remained was a single incantation repeated over and over again. Kill it, 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 kill it! Kill it, 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 kill it! Kill it, kill it! Kill it now!
Kill the fire?
As the spark that was Kaine slowly began to flicker and die, she felt her desire to kill and her desire to live blend into one.
Damn.
The distance between heartbeats grew longer and longer and longer.
The beast approaches. Oh, I know.
Yeah, but he's back. I'm really not in the mood for shit. You know what I thought about doing today? I thought about getting some clothes. Like, sandals, hoodies, just to probably just a little bit more than you. You know?
Yeah? Kinda crappy. Not your fault.
This creature must have. How did it even survive these past 5 years?
Not gonna let this happen again. It
What?
dies today.
I saw it once. Lighter. It's not the blade, but the skill of the user. Strike it down.
Love you too. Let's hope it stays then. Oh wait. Hulk? Hulk of Death? Maximum summon! Dark Hands! Now do me an ever so polite favor. And die for me. Do we get to finish the rest of the book? Kaine's Dreams Encounter. Gently, weakly, softly. The shade sure had its that his tormentor was dead, turned and stomped off toward the horizon, stopping along the way to bellow one final roar. Couldn't kill it. Shamed beyond imagining, Kaine tried to turn her head to the side, but only succeeded in coughing up a huge gout of blood. It was getting difficult to see, and only after a moment of fierce concentration did she realize that her left eye was gone. Laughing to herself, she turned her remaining eye to the ruins of her home, and noticed a ragged stump of an arm resting a few feet away. Yeah, that's mine, she thought with a mad giggle. This is gonna make clapping a real bitch. Ha! Cried a sudden voice from the depths of her mind. Finally gonna die, are ya? Well, you had it coming. Go to hell, Demo, she thought at the unseen assailant. Go to hell before I pluck out your eyes and feed them to a dog. The voice of childhood terror evaporated into smoke, only to be replaced by another more recent voice. Hold still, said the apothecary, materializing from the ruins like a ghost. I want to draw you. That way you can live forever. No, stop. Don't want to live forever. Want to die right here. I see, he said quietly. Well, if that's what you want. The spectral shopkeeper fluttered in and out of existence for a moment, then produced a piece of paper sketched quickly. After a few seconds, he turned the page to Kaine and smiled. Since you rejected my offer, I decided to draw someone else. It was a picture of her grandmother, real as life. Kaine opened her mouth to thank the man, but stopped as the picture began to blacken in the middle. Before she could say anything, dozens of multi-legged insects began to swarm across the image, tearing it with sharpened pincers. Stop! No! Don't hurt that picture! Kaine reached out with her remaining arm and waved futilely at the air. To her surprise, the insects fell off the picture into the ground below, where they vanished into tiny black tendrils of smoke. Kaine turned her good eye back to the picture, only to open her mouth in silent scream. The sketch now showed her grandmother as she truly was, a smashed, unrecognizable lump of nothing. The apothecary smiled, then broke into a jolly dance. See that? He cried as he danced a jig. It's perfect now. She looks just like you. Ha-cha-cha-cha. I look like that? Oh, God. Oh, God, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Drowning in despair, Kaine laid her head back in the mud and smoke of her ruined house and waited for the end to come. But just before she let everything go, an unfamiliar voice began to whisper in her ear. Ain't you got a wish, sunshine? The voice was vulgar and fierce at the same time, as if insanity had somehow found a way to take form. Kaine wanted to scream as the voice crawled under her skin, but her lungs refused to work. I know that pain, to a degree. You know, a wish, like a prayer or something. Why don't you get on your knees and start praying to heaven? Please, invisible man in the sky, save me! Save me! I nearly resorted to shouting at the voice within her mind. I don't make wishes, they don't come true for me! I'm a curse, a freak, I should be left to die! The other voice boomed in her ears. Oh my God! You are the best! Kaine glanced down and saw a black, shiny substance oozing from her legs. She tried to brush it away, but her remaining arm would no longer respond. The substance slowly crept around her feet, and then began moving toward the rest of her body. Is this death? Is this what it's like? Or is my mind just losing itself? She could feel the slime oozing upward and feel the hot, searing pain it left in its wake. Whatever else might be happening, she was still alive, and this was real. Come on, said the voice. Let it go. Kaine tried to ignore the voice and concentrate on the pain, but the newcomer would have none of it. Don't ignore me, sunshine! You're ready to give up, ready to die, so why not let me have it? Have what? Your body, come on! Give it to me! Give it to me! I want to stand on the ground, feel the rain, taste the wind. The voice paused as if licking its lips. When it resumed, it was filled with mad, unabated joy. And I want to take your hands, and I want to use them to choke the goddamn life out of people. I want to tear out their throats and bathe in the blood just like before. In response, Kaine shifted her head and vomited. The warmth of it crept down her front and mingled with the pain of the encroaching black ooze. Are you a shade? Yeah, maybe. What of it? The slime reached her face, crept up past her nose, and slowly oozed into the socket of her missing eye. The moment it touched her brain, Kaine was struck by the most powerful sensation she had ever felt in her life. It was ecstasy. She wanted to scream with delight, but all she could manage was a small, whispered moan. Feels good, don't it? Asked the voice with a chuckle. Yeah, what can I say? I know how to please the ladies. Now give me that body! Come on, give me the body and I'll give you more of this feeling. It's a fair trade. A black lump began to protrude from Kaine's side. As she watched, it grew longer and thicker, eventually taking the form of her missing arm. I can see better, she thought. My eye must be growing back too. The slime reached up to envelop the rest of her face, but she managed to brush it away. Stop, she whispered, marveling at how she'd regained her voice. Stop! The black ooze hesitated, as if considering this request, then quickly shimmered down her body before disappearing into a cloud of smoke. Oh, what the hell, sunshine! Screamed the voice. We had a deal! I thought you wanted to die! Grandma said, can't die yet. A brief image of her grandmother, bloodied and broken, flashed before her eyes. She saw the shade that had killed her and heard its mocking laughter, and closed her eyes and forced the image from her mind. Her whole body was quaking with rage. When she opened her eyes again, they burned bright. That thing took my grandmother. I have to kill it before I die. Kaine glanced down and saw a mysterious pattern. The pattern of the shades burned itself into her left arm. Well, I'll be damned, said the voice cheerfully. Look at that. Sunshine, I think you and me are going to be good friends now. Kaine stared intently at her arm. The more emotional she felt, the more the letters seemed ready to puncture her skin and begin infecting the rest of her body. The arm clearly had a will of its own now. Stop. Gotta stop. Holding her left arm in her right, Kaine took a deep breath and tried to calm herself. Come on! Don't fight it, pleaded the voice. Hate's my favorite dish, and I'm hungry! Let it go! Feel the anger! Burn with the fire of revenge! Thirst for blood, then go out there and shut up! Shut up and get the hell out of my body! Your body? Oh, that's rich, sunshine. Real rich. Look, why don't you just up and die so I can have this body all to myself? What do you say? I bet those buddies of yours in the area would love to see you dead. Kaine grabbed a nearby shard of glass and tried to solve the shade-infected portion of her side. Before she could, her darkened left arm grabbed her right wrist, crushing it. Kaine screamed and dropped it, the shard as the sound of the bone crunching on bone filled the air. Stupid idiot, girl! You're possessed now, sunshine! And there ain't no going back! The voice laughed again, a loud, long wail that seemed to go on without end. Possessed? Whispered Kaine. Yeah, possessed. You and me. We got what you might call a timeshare agreement. Remember how folks used to think you were a freak? Well, wait till they get a load of you now! Kaine looked up, tears in her eyes. The sky seemed smaller somehow, darker. Is this because of that shade? Is this how they see the world? So listen, purred the voice. I know this whole possession thing seems a bit sudden, but it ain't all bad. There's plenty in it for you too. I'm a very powerful creature, Sunshine, and now that power belongs to you. You got enemies, people you want to kill? I can make it happen! That little fat kid who kept picking on you? That big old shade that squashed your granny? Well, wrap them up in their own assholes! No more abuse for you, Sunshine! No more pain! Wait, Kaine, said Kaine. You're a shade. Why would you help me kill another shade? What? You think I'm some kind of racist? Some killing snob? I don't give a good goddamn who you murder, honey pants. I just want to drink from the well. Kaine considered this as she struggled to her feet, the power of the shade coursing through her. The smoke from her house was drifting away with the wind, and she enjoyed the way the cool evening breeze felt on her new left arm. After a long pause, the voice spoke up again. So, how about it? You and me. We could have some good times together. Look, I'll even take care of the bloody part if you don't want. Fuck off, asshole! Muttered Kaine. I'll handle the killing. Screamed the voice. Look at you go! Oh, Sunshine! We're gonna have so much fun. So listen, my name's Tyron, and if you ever need me, I'll just be hanging out in this piece of meat you call a heart. Now get to it! The more you kill, the more your heart turns rotten and sour. And I like rotten and sour. Kaine found herself nodding at the voice. Yeah, she said. Yeah, I think this can work. I gotta find that shade, and I'm gonna strangle it with its own guts. And when I'm done, I'm gonna do the same to you, Tyran. Count on it. Ha! Laughed Tyran. I'm shit bigger than you, so good luck with that. Oh, and hey, one more thing. Right now, you and me are sharing this body, but if you ever run out of hate, if you ever, go soft, then I'm gonna take over everything. So keep on killing, Sunshine! And watch your back! The voice grew fainter and gradually faded away, fading to somewhere deep inside Kaine herself. Kaine waited until she was sure the voice was gone, then waved her new left arm around a few times. It feels perfectly normal, she thought. It feels like mine. Desperately, she began poking and prodding at the new limb, determined to find something wrong with it. She didn't want it to feel normal. That would mean the creature inside her had already won. I'm not a shade. I am Kaine. Repeating this mantra in her mind, she slowly began digging through the rubble of her house, being careful to ignore a certain red-stained spot in the corner. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity of heartbreaking work, she found what she was looking for. It was the wreath of lunar tears. Though it had been through hell and back, the garland's petals were as bright as ever. Kaine started to place it in her hair, then slowly lowered the wreath and stared at it. I'm sorry, Grandma. I'm so sorry. But I don't deserve to wear this anymore. I am possessed, corrupted, a freak. And this time, I don't think there's any going back. Holding the flowers to her heart, Kaine fell to the ground and sobbed. As night gradually lightened to the dawn, and people of the area rose from their daily lives, She remained in that position, as if tears could somehow wash away the horror that now infected her world.
Alive.
Oh!
Stay alive. Stay alive.
Grandma.
Kaine, you gotta live. You gotta come back to us.
Oh, hey. Emil, you were the one calling me, weren't you?
You still recognize me?
Of course. I knew you right away.
Thank you, Kaine.
Welcome back, Kaine.
Wow, you grew up. So, how long has it been?
5 years.
Shit. That's a long time. Any luck with Yona?
We are still no closer to finding her. We need a way to locate the Shadow Lord.
By the way, this is for you.
Is that a lunar tear?
It's not as good as your grandmother's, but I tried.
No, it's great. Thank you.
Kaine waking from her long, petrified sleep. Emil's unflagging kindness. Our reunion was a happy one. We let it wash over us like rain. That is, until Devila and Popola had to go and ruin it all.
As is their job. Because
Are
they're
you kidding
assholes.
me? You can't be serious.
Please, try to understand. People are tired and scared, and... I'm sorry. I'm sorry you have to bear the brunt of that.
This is crap, and you know it.
It's okay. We can sleep outside.
No one's sleeping outside. You and Kaine saved this village, and now they want to run you out?
People are afraid of us. And really, I understand. I mean, look at me. As long as you're still with us, I can deal with it. Right, Kaine?
I'm used to sleeping outside.
But...
We'll see you later.
Sorry about this.
What is the matter?
Kaine always sleeps outside. I never thought about that until just now. Never even occurred to me. Damn it.
We should turn in.
I didn't get much sleep that night. For the first time in my life, I hated Devila. For the first time in my life, I doubted Popola. But those feelings were pointless in the end. They said and did what they did for the sake of the village. protected from the horror of the Shades. Really, how can I blame Devila and Popola? In the end, I'm just as bad. Because I never once stopped to think about Kaine and Emil's situation myself.
Oh? This is new.
I should apologize to Kaine and Emil, but what good would that even do? Wait, is that...
I'm so happy to get to talk to you again, Kaine.
Yeah, me too.
I tried everything I could think of to save you, you know. I polished you with a special cloth. I poured warm water over you.
Wait, you poured water on me?
Yeah, but it didn't really do much except make you all shiny.
Hey, Emil. Thanks for saving me.
I guess you noticed how I look different now.
I'm sorry, Emil. I'm sorry for all of it.
Well, I mean, this new form isn't all bad, you know? At least I can look at you when we talk, right? Hey, so why don't you tell me something about yourself?
I'm not very interesting. Sorry.
Come on, I just want to know you better. Please?
Fine. This all happened when I was a kid. Before the whole shade possession thing. My body is... different. And when the villagers found out about it, they started treating me like a freak. But one person, my grandmother, accepted me just as I was, no matter how bad things got. She gave me the strength to keep going.
She's really special to you, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, hey! That gives me an idea. Since we cured your petrification, we should start looking for a way to cure your possession in my body. I know we can do it if we all work together. Heck, it'll probably be super easy.
Let me guess. More warm water?
Okay. Can we just forget I told you about that?
I will not forget that. That is adorable. How dare you!
Sleep well?
Sure.
And yet your red eyes tell a different tale. Don't be so hard on yourself, lad.
I need to go see Devila and Popola.
Very well.
It's not gonna let me play with my new changes. There we go.
What might that be?
It's Mom's diary.
I have not heard you speak much about your mother.
She got the Black Scrawl and died when I was little.
My apologies for bringing it up.
It's all right. I can barely remember her face anymore. This is the only thing I have left of her. Reading it helps remind me of when we were still a family.
I see.
But the final entries get a little strange.
In what way?
Well, take a look.
As we are suddenly caught in DLC content that was not there in the original unless you paid for the DLC content.
Can you not hear me?
Oh shit! Old man Nier! Papa Nier! Papa Nier! Do we
Why
got...
are you standing about like a slack-jawed ninny? Sorry. Felt like I was dreaming or something.
Sleeping on one's feet is quite the talent indeed. Come now, there's the door.
Right. Let's go.
Hell yeah, let's go! Papa Nier time! Shit. Oh! This is gorgeous! Go, man! You know what? Let's give him his signature. The Beast Lord! Because it's time to make bodies drop! Ah! Where's the big boy? Oh, hi! You know, just so I don't gotta worry about these bats, let's bat them away! I see ya! Gone! Oh! This. Is that it? Now this is how you make electronic fight music! Fool's Embrace. My kind of weapon. Let's go! These guys obviously aren't dropping weaponry or items. I also want to see something. Okay, I just want to see what that looked like, and that's creepy as fuck! Ah! You know what, let's see how well magic works on this thing, actually. Terribly. Boss belter time! That's much a bad time! It's offering medicinal herbs like I fucking heal. Crap. That was bullshit! Virtue 3D isometric platforming! Aha! Yeah! Oh, you are a dick! But I know how to handle you now. Here's another drop technique. Come on, let's go. For realsies. One shot! Kabuki! And that was all door one. Well, no immediate mention of my health bar was brought up. That explains the chickens. Yeah! Fuck! Please tell me that was it. That was cheeky, game! I'm sorry, but I'm just kind of jamming out to this, because this is awesome. No, we're not going that way yet. 1, boxes. 2, more doors. There's more things behind them. Wait, shiny thing. You cannot blame my reaction in the slightest.
It seems we have been...
On the words of a certain blue hedgehog, too slow.
It seems we...
That is so much better than Dark Wall.
It seems we...
Fuck your bullet hells! I have anti-bullet walls! Too easy. Shit, fuck! the inhuman scream is a replicant, well, it's an automata reference, but it's too early to tell. Fuck. Hey, duck! Is that all you got? I feel like I'm supposed to be hurting more. Okay, that's pretty fucking cool. Goodbye! Well, I mean, if you're gonna make it easy. Does a full salvo kill? Yes, does. Next! Oh, you're new. Oh, you're bulky! No, no, no! I recognize that attack! Fuck off! That didn't kill, but this should! Oh, there's more of you! But he's not close enough to dodge this. So die! Oh, hi! Sneaking up on me like that? Not cool. Have Dark Lance! Why make it difficult when I can just do that? The answer is, why? Because you're stout! Shit, I'm close. Well, one shot hit, so that's enough! Cheeky as fuck? Yes! Effective? Leave me alone! This cannot be good. fucking hell! The bats are a distraction! Oh, hi. Is that a boar? I'm not fucking pissing off the boar if I don't have to. The boar is my friend. Unless he attacks me, at which point he dies. Boar, may I ride you into battle? Where is it? This is going to take forever, isn't it? Oh, hi! Lots of bats! I don't think I've seen a cheekier way to make you actually sit through a thing than that. Alright. Last one. Last fucking one. I swear to God, if it's another on-rail shooter. Oh. And gone. Because Captor's a bitch! Ugh. Yeah, smart idea. Airborne release! Ugh. All is paid. All is sacrifice. Oh god, that breaks guard! Thank God you aren't that buff. Well, we might as well have a going on a children's sale. I have something I want to check out really quick. Oh, hi! Do a good dive.
It seems we have...
Sorry, kitties. No playing on the jungle gym today. I'm here to kill you all. Because I'm a crazed psychopath, apparently. And... rah! Come on. There's gotta be more. I was right. I don't know if I want to be right.
Seems we have been shut.
Go crazy! Execution! I had to do it with the beast sword. Finally, we got weapons collector. One moment, folks. Important phone call business. Right. Okay. Okay, well, you'll be home soon, yes? Well, do you want the good news? I left you 2 of the 3 remaining pieces of chicken parmesan. And the angel hair spaghetti. So you have real food. It's like you are well taken care of. You guys need to put it up. Oh, you don't get to go on vacation yet. Yeah, that's why I said the exact wording. Yeah, you get married today. My vacation refills July 31st. Then, we can plot something out. See, what fucking hit me like a brick is that you had never played a platform before. So give me 1 second to get back into position because I was live streaming.
Well, technically, I feel decent, and I can speak up and swing. I mean, like, that was the closest thing I probably had to a platformer.
Baby, baby, baby. Those don't really count.
Well, either way. But why is it you that I never played a platformer game?
The reason why it hit me that, oh, she's never played a platformer is because it's not instinctive for you to hold forward while jumping. Unlike it is for me. Very seldom do I sit still when I hit the jump button. I know. Stop blocking, you bastard. It's my thing. Gotcha! Ah, that's a big boy. What you gonna do, big boy? Oh, bullet hell, bullet hell, bullet hell. Dark Whirlwind! Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Alright, that's getting really annoying. Cheat shots. Stop that. And spear the ass. Where's the bit? Oh, fuck, he's right there. Sorry, I'm multitasking.
I know, you're fine, you're fine.
All the boss melter technique didn't work. He did not vaporize. Crap. Okay. First I'm using a recovery potion. Well done, you monster. You've made me use a full heal. You won't do it twice.
Oh, that is a baby cosplayer. He also is TikTok and Instagram page. The mother was be like, why are you making this? Like, these are all not only wholesome, but if you need time to get any help, the best person to show everyone is goes to. And I'd be like, oh, look, what do you do? I listed off everything, and then I said, oh, these are the ones that were tiring. And it's like, oh, wow, you're gonna fun. You got more plan going. And I'm like, you know, the thing is that I will learn cosplay is expensive. So I do recommend that you have to learn how to flow, make your own stuff. But otherwise, it's expensive as can a motherfucking thing.
Show me that's it. That's because I have to be proactive. Crap! I just got yeeted. because you specifically want a milkshake, and because of that, they have to make sure that it is the longest period of time for you to get one. Full cannon. Don't know. Oh, platforming challenges. Shit. I really noted that is not a safe jump. Oh, fuck. Had to be one of these guys. Love you too. Bye. Alright. Oh, he's more durable than normal. Straight capsule time. We're going to poke through you, dang it! Oh, your magical friends. I asked! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no, 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 no! You just stop! Come on! At least I can counter this one. Countering works so much more effectively! Let's just get rid of all of your armor, all at fucking once. Oh, fuck! Oh, hi. Help! Alright, now. Where'd that magic shit go? Apparently he doesn't count. What?
Hauser!
Of course I looked at the goddamn door. It's called common goddamn sense, huh?
Is that all?
Huh?
Is that the final entry of the diary?
It seems that way.
Interesting.
You figure anything out?
I fear not.
Yeah.
Find another tile
I'm
attached to
not
my
surprised.
keys.
Cool.
So this way I don't fucking lose them. And technically, because the tile is linked to my phone, I won't lose my phone either. And I got you your damn Dr. Pepper cherry.
Thank you. Well, that was certainly an interesting fight.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't know what time it is now.
No pants time.
No parents time! Eat! I guess it came in the mail.
But,
Oh, what's me?
oh,
I want to see how these do, if it's just I may be allergic to it or what. Because right now, that's everybody's theory.
and lastly, the Fool's Accord.
But then make sure you move your clothes from the washer to the dryer before you go to bed.
Did I already do that? I
Yep.
don't know.
Your clothes are, I had to rewash them.
But I've collected all 33 weapons.
Nice. I do look at my backpack. I forgot my iPad's in my bag in my car. That's good. People yelling at me like, shut up, no, I need to listen.
The fact that it made me use some of my actual inventory just to be afraid of getting whacked. But with that being said, I have work in the morning. I did not expect to be level 35 either. But I've got work in the morning. That was a boatload of fighting. I feel really good. And that demonstrated I required a lot of improvement. So I will see everyone that actually showed up and enjoyed later. Have fun, folks.